And we see Kory in first place, drifting right into turn 4 on the final lap, and absolutely annihilating. If he manages to pull this off, this will be an absolute game changer, and this will be his first gold medal for the season. We haven't seen him race like this since the depression took over his life. It looks like things are really starting to come back together for him. And oh no! He just lost control on the final turn. Can he save it? No, he can't. It looks like everyone else passed him, leaving him behind with nothing but his crippling depression and a participation trophy. Well, this was a disappointment. Back to you, Kory, in the studio. Thanks, Kory. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, and let's hope Kory can get back on his feet, because he has a lot of racing to do. Hello everyone, this is Kory, and today we are going to take a look at Dirt Rally 2.0 to find out if it's worth it in VR. I review every game I play in VR, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Subscribe, yeah. Dirt Rally 2.0 is hands down my favorite racing sim in VR, simply because it has so much variety in the events you can do. You have your standard point-to-point rally racing events, asphalt tracks which have much more grip, which drastically changes the way you take corners, and of course rallycross. I'm going to be taking a look at each type of racing and talk about what I enjoy about all of them. As always, I will talk about some of the bad stuff at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Or you can skip ahead if you want, I put timestamps in the video description. So let's start with the basics, and what most people enjoy about rally racing sims, which is your standard rally racing events. These courses are point-to-point and take you through some of the most narrow and terrifying roads in the world, while you try to go as fast as you can, as your co-driver reads out information about upcoming turns and signals in a foreign language which no one understands.
6 right long, opens over crest 30, flat right and flat left over crest, 120.
Alright, since we are here, I'm going to give you a quick lesson so you can understand what this guy is saying. I've heard some people say the numbers represent which gear you should be in during the turn, but this is wrong. The numbers actually range from 1 to 6 and represent the angle of the turn, and the lower the number, the tighter the turn. The number 1 is just before a right angle turn, and there are also acute turns, hairpin turns, and the co-driver will also give you larger numbers like 30, 50, or even 180, and this will tell you how many meters there are between turns. There are other various callouts which give you more detailed information about the layout of the road as well. Crest means there's an area ahead of you which you cannot see over. Jump means you're about to have some fun.
Right long tightens.
Tightens means the turn will decrease in radius and become tighter. Care caution, double caution, or even triple caution means there is a risky area in the road ahead which may lead to a crash, or worse.
40.
And there are many other terms like long, bumps, dips, bad camber, water splashes, and don't cut, which all give more information to paint a picture about what is happening in the road ahead of you. This is what is so exciting to me in rally racing. I love keeping my mind busy and trying to decipher the road ahead of me, and doing it all in VR is that much more exciting. I think it would be amazing for the next Dirt Rally game to allow for a co-driver in multiplayer, or even give you a mobile application someone can use to read the road ahead of you as they sit next to you on the couch. This would add an entirely new element to racing, and would be fun to the people watching you race as well.
Now turn left on Market Street.
You're joking, right? Fine, fine, I don't even care anymore.
And maybe frustrating as well. So, in the point-to-point rally races, you have various times of day you can race in, as well as different weather effects. You have access to many different events, and they all work a little bit different. You're typically racing on several tracks in each location, and at different times of day. There are daily, weekly, and monthly races you can compete in. Some of them you're racing against AI, and some you're competing against other players in timed events. You can also create custom races or join an online community group which allows you to compete against people within that group in tournaments. If we talk about tarmac racing, it's the same as your standard point-to-point rally racing. It's just on tarmac, which, as you'd imagine, feels very different. I'm going to keep this section brief because it offers the same thing as the dirt tracks. I have to say though, this is what excites me about Dirt Rally 2.0. You can go from having fun in the dirt to a clean race on tarmac, all in one game, and it feels great having that variety in track types. This brings me to Rallycross. It's impossible for me to pick a favorite between point-to-point racing and Rallycross. Point-to-point offers so much variety to the courses and has you really focusing on the co-driver for instructions, which adds another layer of difficulty. But Rallycross allows you to compete directly against other drivers in a circuit race where you can challenge yourself to take corners faster and faster as you refine your driving line with each lap. There are both dirt and tarmac surface types, and when you slide through a corner on dirt and onto tarmac, it really changes the dynamics of the way your car handles, and you feel every bit of it. It really puts your driving skills to the test, and it's incredibly rewarding when you get a new personal lap time record. Rallycross is truly an entirely different experience, and I absolutely love it. Being in VR, you really feel like you're in the cockpit. And when you have other rally cars drifting right in front of you, it's an incredible experience which I cannot even begin to express. I've played quite a few VR titles now, and I have to say that flight sims with a HOTAS and racing sims with a racing wheel and pedals have to be the most immersed I've been in VR to date. So let's take a look at the game aspects. Dirt Rally 2.0 looks beautiful in VR and plays very well all things considered. There are weather effects which will dictate how well your car handles on the road, and if you make a mistake, well, there aren't any rewinds in this game.
Into caution, 2 right tightens. 2 left.
Dirt Rally 2.0 keeps things real, and your mistakes may end you with a punctured tire or worse. If you puncture a tire, you can replace it on the road at the cost of losing time for the race. This is all if you opted in to even bring a wheel at the cost of adding weight to your vehicle. If you're feeling risky, you can choose to go lightweight and not bring a spare tire. But if you slam into a corner too fast and pop your tire, well, then you're going to be taking it extra slow on the way to the finish line, which may cost you more time than it would have costed you to replace a tire on the road if you had a spare. These types of decisions are what I absolutely adore about Dirt Rally 2.0. Why is it even Rally 2.0? I've been saying this whole review, but is there a Dirt Rally 2.1? Why not just call it Dirt Rally 2? Anyway, for me personally, I always bring at least one spare tire because I know my driving skills aren't that great just yet. And driving on 3 wheels to the finish line can be brutally exhausting when you're constantly losing traction due to this, causing more crashes. Outside of tires getting shredded, other car parts will wear and tear as well, depending on how you drive. In the middle of an event, you might need to replace your clutch or suspension depending on how well you took care of your car on the last race. Repairing your car takes time, and you only have so much time to use between races to fix up your car. So if you really bang things up, you will need to prioritize which parts on your car you want to fix. You can also completely total your car if you're not careful, which might force you to retire from the race, resulting in a DNF. This really forces you to better think about how you take corners and keep you fully concentrated throughout the entire race. The last thing I want to talk about before we get into some of the bad things is that a racing wheel is basically mandatory in VR. I say this because it amplifies the immersion tenfold. Using a wheel in VR is like putting on a VR headset and experiencing the immersion which VR brings all over again. Yes, you can use a controller to play, but if you enjoy racing games in VR, then I'd highly recommend investing in a wheel. So we've talked enough about the good things. Let's talk about some of the bad things in Dirt Rally 2.0, or Dirt Rally 2, whatever you want to call it. To start, the rain effects on the windows in VR looks horrible to say the least. It's as if the rain has the viscosity of a slimy substance.
Nice going, Ray. What are you trying to do, drown me?
These effects are exaggerated to the point where my windows might as well be painted black, since I cannot see out of them at all anyway. This is not realistic, and honestly, it's one of the biggest disappointments to me because I love driving in the rain. Some maps have performance issues in VR. New Zealand in particular has a section where there's a lot of trees and shrubbery. I noticed frame drops when going through this section every time, but with some tweaking of the settings, this can be fixed. Lastly, AI cars in Rallycross constantly try to get in front of you as you try to pass them on a straight, to the point that they will purposely sideswipe you. It's unrealistic and incredibly annoying, and I'd say this is a major flaw in their AI system, which just makes me sad because it would be so easy to fix this issue. So, is it worth it? Dirt Rally 2.0 is beautiful in VR, and it has been my favorite racing game so far because it has quite a lot of variety in types of races you can do. It might not be as much of a simulator as games like Assetto Corsa or Project Cars 2, but it's definitely a hell of a lot more fun. A VR headset, a racing wheel, and Dirt Rally 2 is all you need to have an amazing experience in VR, and I'd say it's well worth the investment. This was all just my experience though, and I'd love to hear what you think of Dirt Rally 2 and whether you think it's worth it. Let me know in the comments down below. I post new videos weekly, so if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when I release new videos. Liking the video helps a ton and shows your support, and if you want to know what's on my mind, then follow me on Twitter. Links are in the description down below. And as always, make sure you think for yourself, which means question yourself, do what makes you happy, and I'll see you all next time. Dirt Rally 2.0, Dirt Rally 2.0 is hands down my favorite racing sim in VR, simply because it has so much variety in the Dirt Rally 2.0 hands down